You're listening to Canterbury's Port FM Local. Online we have Detective Inspector Graeme Bell, of course, from the very successful and popular TV2 show Police 10-7. A very good morning to you, Graeme.
G'day, Graeme.
Morning.
Not sure whether to be frightened or nervous or excited.
Well, take it as you find it.
All right.
He might have a screen there with all your...
You haven't been looking up
secrets.
our personal details there, have you?
No, I have not yet, but I'll get them.
Oh, no, here we go. It's all out in the open.
Not good.
Now, Graeme, you've got a book coming out shortly, don't you? Murder, Mayhem and Mischief.
Yes, it's due to hit the bookshelves at the end of October.
It's just about your life and growing up in the police force?
Yes, it covers my 33 years in the police, and it focuses heavily on all the cases I dealt with. There's a bit of everything in there, really. I think people enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And you have dealt with some interesting cases over 33 years. Any that stand out to you?
There's been a lot of them. I think there's been so many murders that I've been involved with that I lost count on them. In fact, when I look back through the book, I've left several out, so there's room for another one, probably.
It's a bit depressing,
It could
really,
be a volume of them.
I actually say at the end of the book that I think all these things have helped strengthen me. I mean, they're very soul-destroying at the time, but if you can come through all that and stay reasonably balanced, perhaps with a chip on each shoulder, you've come out of it all right.
How'd you get started in it? I mean, going into the police force, especially into the detective role, were you prepared
I
for...
came from my family have had quite a long involvement with the police, so it was really no surprise that I ended up in the police. And early on, I decided that I wanted to be a detective, and once I got into that sort of role, I stuck with it.
Has crime become a lot more worse over the years, do you think, or it's pretty much the same, do you think?
No, it's definitely got worse. I joined the police in 1968, and if people committed burglaries and were caught, they went to prison for substantial periods of time. Now, people have to rack up tens, if not 20 to 40 convictions for burglaries before they're even considered to be put into prison. Society has become so permissive that just anything goes, and I think it's gone downhill very badly. Violent crime has got more violent. I mean, in the old days when people had fights, there was an unwritten law that you never kicked anyone on the ground, but now that's the first thing they start doing.
What do you think is a major factor in a lot of crime?
Alcohol is the biggest factor in crime by a country mile. I think some estimates put it at around 80% of the incidents attended to by police, alcohol is a factor.
So with these new regulations which are coming in where they're looking at the problems in South Auckland and whatnot, and the location of the outlets selling alcohol, do you think some changes needed? You don't think it's going to make a difference?
No, it's all just window dressing to try and look as though something's being done about it. No, that's not going to have any impact. Nothing is going to affect the ills in society until people learn to bring up their children properly. I mean, actually, we're backing away from this. The parents are far more permissive now. Discipline is almost non-existent in many homes, and I don't see things improving, to be honest.
Have you got some kids, Graeme?
They're not kids anymore, they're all adults.
Kids.
Grandchildren too.
I'm just imagining being in their shoes, and how are they today, growing up with you as a dad?
Fine. Yeah, no, I haven't any trouble. One of my children was a detective herself, actually,
oh, wow.
in Christchurch.
Fantastic. So a lot of teenagers are sort of out of control. I mean, we even notice it in the small town of Ashburton, especially, typically on a Saturday night on the streets. Is that when you sort of find that a lot of violent crime happens?
Oh, definitely. And as I said before, alcohol is the key ingredient in all of these things that go wrong. I mean, people are misusing alcohol I mean, we all enjoy a drink, but a lot of people don't know when to stop, and a lot of young people have never really been taught how to deal with alcohol. I don't know, they seem to be getting into it much earlier and without any supervision. I think, you can't say this about all parents, but a lot of parents have completely abdicated the responsibility they have to give their children parameters and discipline.
Absolutely.
Now, looking on the more of a bright side of things, there's been more than 300 arrests on Police 10-7. What is it like to, have that? It's fantastic. You get on there and you talk about something, and then it gets solved and you make an arrest. I mean, how does that feel for you?
The warm fuzzies feeling.
Oh, yes, it is. It's very gratifying, and it's wonderful to think that the general public are keen to help. Every week there are around about 500,000 people up watching Police 10-7, and they're keen to help solve these things, and all they want is the information so that they can apply their brains to it and provide the police with the breakthroughs, and it happens all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's so successful. We're in this series, we'll be broadcasting our 200th episode of Police 10-7.
Wow.
That's fantastic. And hopefully more seasons to come.
Yes, well, the longer it goes, the better we like it, and the more criminals we're putting away.
Graeme, over the years, I mean, it wasn't so long ago that there wasn't a TV show like Police 10-7 where you could tune in and see the New Zealand
No, not
police
New
force
Zealand.
in action.
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Nothing in New Zealand.
I think there's obviously been a room for it. I mean,
Absolutely.
And there's another one, Motorway Patrol, which does very well also. But yeah, no, I think it's good, and it shows people what the police have to put up with, and it shows people that the police are just ordinary people, young men and women, going about putting themselves in harm's way on our behalf, basically.
There's nothing more interesting than a behind-the-scenes glimpse.
Well, that's very true. The old fly-on-the-wall approach.
No, it's fantastic what you're doing. It's really good to speak to you as well. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Graeme.